All right, we're going to go get started. And like I said, Bambi's going to give us a talk on loving yourself. So, Bambi, you can come up. I don't know if you want to sit, stand, whatever.
I got to come up here because I got a couple of exercises we're going to do. Just some exercise. Close. Okay. First of all, the reason we're changing who talks is because John and I talked. Were you there, Deborah, when we talked about each? Maybe not. It was just me and you. Everybody in the group, I feel, has something important to say, or something that we all can learn from. So I said, I used to be a Mormon, and the one thing that I really like about the Mormon church is that you have a preacher, or he's called a bishop, but he doesn't talk every Sunday. He doesn't get up and you hear him over and over and over. They give the congregation opportunity to talk. And if I ask you to talk, I can give you a choice of what you want to talk about, or I can give you a subject if you're stuck. And I like that because you don't hear the same person. You get a ton of different points of view, which to me is refreshing, but I like that. So I talked to John about it. We decided that we would do that. So first of all, loving yourself is one of the things that I need to work on. And the reason I wanted to talk is because it helps me explore the subject a little deeper. So first of all, I want to say that the universe works in wonderful ways. And one of the things was that I read a book, and the guy that was the author said, if you want information from the universe, Google the subject that you want to know about. So I Googled it. And what he says is you go on a search engine, you look at it, and if it's not something, then you follow it somewhere else. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So I did that on loving yourself. And the first thing that came up, which was kind of funny because I didn't expect it, was the woman who did the vagina monologue. That's the first thing that came up, and I don't know why it popped up. There was a little talk there on loving yourself, so I popped on it, and she's like, well, I'm here to talk to you about vagina. And I'm like, wow. So I thought, okay, well, I listened to her talk for a few minutes. I'm like, that's not where I want to go. So I clicked on something else, and the very next subject was a woman who did a study on erectile tissue, which is when a man gets an erection. I was like,
oh, not just a man.
What?
Yes,
exactly. So I kind of clicked on it, and she went on to talk about she's an expert in biology, and she does tissues, and she wanted to do this special thing, and it was on erectile tissue. So the erectile tissue she did a thing on, and so I just kept going from there, and then I thought, you know what, this isn't going where I want to go. So the first thing I want to say is love is the truth about who we are, and we get off on who we're not somehow, and we're gonna do a little exercise on how that happens. And I have to follow my storyline here, or I'll get lost and jabber about crap I shouldn't.
And that's different from...
Okay, so we went on the vagina part. We went
talked about vaginas.
Check. We talked about erections. Okay, so now I want to know is what keeps us from loving ourselves? Does anybody have any idea? Or why do you? Is there anything in your life?
Viral programming.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because we tell ourselves we're not worthy of it.
Do you think most of it comes from things we've heard from other people?
Exactly. And what their interpretation is, which we're going to do something on that. So what keeps us from loving ourselves is confusion. Confusion about who we really are. And the truth is we're beautiful, magical beings. That we can create our own reality. But somehow, growing up, that got lost. But as little kids, we knew it. Without a doubt, we knew it. That's why we sang and played, and life was so fun. And somehow we lost that. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little exercise before I go on. So what I want the room to do is split in half and line up right here. And line up right here. 5 over here, 5 over here. Right behind each other. Yeah.
Send Stephen over.
Okay.
Well, at least we're balanced.
Now, what you're going to do is you're going to face this way, face her back, face her back. Oh, yeah, Scarlett, you can just stay right there. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You're trying to X-ray. Okay, yeah,
Okay, what we're going to do is, I'm going to show the last person a picture. And that person is going to draw the picture on the person in front of them's back.
Deborah was just doing this. Deborah was like, guess what this is? Deborah gets a star.
She's already into the energy there. Okay, so here's yours, because you're going to be drawing it. I took John's drawing already,
Yeah, I don't know.
so I need a blank.
Here, just gonna.
I guess we'll turn around. I think I know what she's gonna do with it. We're gonna really.
Did I give you a pencil?
No, ma'am.
Okay, this person is going to draw the actual picture of what they felt the person drawing on their back.
Oh, okay, at the end.
At the end, okay?
It's almost
All right.
kind of like the whisper game.
Exactly.
So it's got to go
Exactly.
through all 5 first, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Are you good at this?
Sure.
I could be a little.
Or am I drawing? Okay, never mind.
And don't go until I say go.
And you remember some easy ones like sun and triangle?
Yes.
Circle.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, suns and
New numbers.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, and don't be going like
I see your
long.
back.
Make it quick. Make it quick.
oh,
I'm looking at it.
never mind.
I want that.
You ready?
We're
Okay.
gonna start. Wait a minute, hold on. We're starting.
Well, we got okay, go. Gotta make it quick.
I know what it is.
Not too
Already,
fast, but-
already I know. You're
Now
good.
you draw it on John. You draw it on the person in front of you. Don't say what it is or what you think it is. Just draw it.
Both of these lost.
It's okay. Just draw what you feel.
Can you do it one more time?
No. Just draw what you feel. Just draw it. Just anything. It doesn't matter. Just
Sit
draw
on
what you
that
feel.
paper.
That one's the one that you already.
We're winning.
They're beating you. Hurry.
No. Dog is understanding. So much slow.
Donna was just good. Donna's good.
What?
Donna's good. I can tell.
One thing.
Uh-oh, what does he leave off?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Uh-oh.
Maybe back on.
Deborah wants
by the
to
time
cheat
it
already.
gets
Let's do it over.
Okay.
Take backs.
Not sure I felt
It
that.
doesn't matter. Just do what you think. That's all. It doesn't matter. Just do what you think.
Cheer races? Who's scratching? It's got a scratch. We got an itchy.
When I came home last
All I
night.
got.
Just draw it. Just draw it. Just draw it. Doesn't matter.
I can't feel it yet. Don't stop.
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
I don't really have
That's
it.
cool.
I'm sorry.
That's cool. This is what you guys drew. What they drew.
Okay. Wow.
Very esoteric. And this was the picture.
Close.
It was close.
It's very
Okay.
close.
There's a shape there.
All right. Okay. Oh, you guys got big.
It got on there.
That was easier.
Easier. But it's not a competition.
It's
It's not a competition.
Point.
I knew what it was.
It's not a competition. And there was
Close
their
enough.
picture. Okay. Good job. Okay, now we're going to do it one more time, except this time
Y'all get the hard one.
we're gonna do it with love. You're just gonna do it because you really love the person in front of you. Really want them to get it. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Back, we're supposed to draw on your back?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a picture.
You gotta just take it.
I thought I didn't give it to Joe.
She didn't care about her either.
Okay, here's your picture. Okay. And
It's rightfully yours. I like a forceful woman.
you got it.
Just take it, baby.
That's right. Okay? All right, go.
Oh, yeah.
Sure that's love.
Yes, love. Physical love counts.
Oh, color. Is that it? Easy.
Easy. I think I'm embellished.
Is that it?
Should have brought my glasses. That was it? Ow! He's being mean to me. Just do this.
Quit, John.
It's he's trying to learn how to be a student, right?
Are you
Oh my God.
done?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. All right. Here's our
That's
picture.
what I got. That's what I got.
Oh, their picture, okay.
No,
That's ours.
No, that's yours.
Yours.
That's ours?
Ours is
Oh,
still
we're
right
doing
here.
another one.
No.
No.
In other words, we didn't get it right.
Okay.
That's not what she showed.
There's your family.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's-
Right or wrong
oh,
does
I
not
see.
matter.
That's what she drew. Oh, okay, that's what she
It doesn't matter.
But you hadn't showed us ours yet.
This was their picture.
Yes, it was that.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Where did this come from?
All right.
Flower looks good. I don't know what the flower is.
I thought this came from them.
It's like a bell.
I drawn them.
This is yours.
And she does this.
Okay, well, what's yours? What's the picture? Wait.
Let's go to after
This is theirs. I don't care. You guys go. Have fun.
It's a cloud.
Okay.
It's the sun.
This was their picture.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Sit down.
Like right brain people or left.
Okay, first of all, it was no competition at all. What it is just basically like the whisper game. And in the whisper game, somebody whispers something, and then by the time it gets to the end, it's a different story. It's the same thing, but the reason I wanted you guys to actually touch each other was because it's all about interpretation. What you interpret it to be, and then you sent it to the next person, and then they went and they went and they went. The next time you did it with more caring and more love, but it still didn't matter. What the point is that what you felt and how you interpreted it, you did the best you could to spread that on. Did any of you try to do another picture than what you felt?
Yes.
You did? How come?
Oh, you mean intentionally? No.
Yes,
No,
intentionally.
but I wasn't doing a tree in my head.
No, I mean from what you felt, did you just decide, well, I'm just gonna do this
Oh, no,
instead?
I didn't do that, but I felt it was more like the Saheki.
Uh-huh,
That's what it felt like
Uh-huh.
to me.
uh-huh. And so it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. The point I wanted to get to was that your interpretation wasn't really right or wrong. It's just you try to interpret what you knew and what you could understand from what they gave you, best that you could. And that's exactly what most people in our lives are doing. Interpreting life the best that they can to us. And then we do the same thing to others. And that's what we just did. My point being, I don't know. No, I mean, honestly,
I think that what's important is in any kind of relationship, whether it's a love relationship or a friend relationship, is Katie can say something to me and I'll interpret it one way, but in my realm of where my mind's at now, I have learned that if I'm not quite rocking what she's saying to me, I can always come back and go, hey, this is what I'm hearing.
right.
And it doesn't, it causes a closer relationship because you're not creating a rift between one another, because if she told me something and I took it the wrong way, and then I'm all ticked off.
Right. Or not only that, but you know, I'm thinking too, on the other hand, that, you know, my dad was a real idiot, but maybe what he interpreted to me was the only thing he knew.
Exactly.
So what I do with that then, I can choose to do just what you did. Say I can, because I can't talk to him about it, but I can interpret it and try to make the best that I can out of it, so that
Right.
when I am sharing what I think is
Exactly.
love to my children, or what I think is love to other people, I have to interpret that, and I have to,
Right.
You can
to
choose
go,
whether you incorporate that into it or not.
right, and, or, you know, or not pass it on,
Make a
or,
conscious decision.
right.
And we do the same thing to ourselves.
Bingo! Exactly where I'm going.
Because I know I've interpreted voices in my head wrong all my life.
There's no one else.
So we ended
What
up
you're
getting a
telling me.
perception of ourselves through this same process. We got a perception of who we are. And then in that perception, and it's not just people in our lives, but it's TV, it's radio, it's all this other stuff, that all of a sudden we get this interpretation and this fear that we're not enough. We're not enough. And then because we're not enough, we begin to now do things that we feel will make us enough. I'm going to be smarter, I'm going to be skinnier, I'm going to be this, I'm going to wear more makeup, I'm going to fix my hair different. You know what I'm saying? We all of a sudden now become what's going to help us be enough. So we buy the BMW, or, you know, it's all our interpretation of what's going to make us enough. But no one, or maybe someone told you, no one told me in my life, you're enough. You're just enough. Period. Just you and your spirit and your soul and who you are is enough. That's it. That is tremendous in my life, because no one ever told me that. But I'm glad I decided to do this, because it opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I don't want anyone here to think I'm an expert on this, because I'm not. I'm doing this to help me.
Yeah.
So everybody goes, oh, well, she doesn't live what she's saying, because now I have to try to practice living all this myself.
That is the path. When you start teaching something, it doesn't mean you know it. And you can't look at a teacher and say, oh, they're perfect. I mean, teachers have issues too. You know, there's, India is known for having major screwed up teachers. You know, they're teaching what they know mentally, and then they're having affairs with the females. You know, that's just the energy there, because
Kind of like preacher stuff.
yeah. So, but what you're teaching brings you closer to trying to embody it. Like the research shows things to yourself.
Yes, yes, exactly. Okay, so now I go on to, with that knowledge, then we go on to, okay, we start clinging to people or needing people in our lives that love us. And people who will feed us and to see the stuff in us that we want them to see or that we see. Does that make sense? Yes. So when you meet somebody who now sees in you what you feel and see, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I love them. I love them. They make me feel really good. But the amazing thing is now, which I told Candace the other day, I said, now the amazing thing is all of a sudden we feel really good. God, I feel good, I feel sexy, I feel all these things, you know, because only simply because someone now likes us, loves us. And all of a sudden, in just that quick, our lives can completely change. We have something to look forward to. We can encourage ourselves to do stuff we couldn't normally encourage ourselves to do. All of a sudden, life looks really, really good. Did they do that to us? Or did we do it to us? So that means we've got it all anyway.
It's in there all the time.
Yeah.
So
We
what
only allow
happened
ourselves
with
to
us
access
being
it.
able to motivate ourselves, because you know then, which we all know, you get in with this person, it turns into a relationship. Well, when it's new, it's not work. So I love you when you're sexy and you're gorgeous and all that, but after that wears off and we get into the work part of the relationship, I'm not picking on you, Pat, I swear to God,
You're
because
just the
everybody
closest
goes
one to
through
it.
it. But when it becomes the work part, then where did that person go? Well, I don't want to do it anymore. It's not fun. I don't want to tell you that. Honey, can you take out the trash in the beginning? Oh, yeah, I'll take out that trash. After about 2 years, like,
Get up
You
there.
can do it for yourself.
God gave you two healthy legs, just
Take
like me.
your arm's broken.
You're obviously already thinking about it, so why don't you just do it?
What happened there? What happened?
Not all people are.
It's
Yeah,
a- it's a-
exactly.
It's a drug,
Well,
and it wears off after time, and then that one source is not enough, so we seek other sources. Plus, there's a concept that we begin to suppress exactly what we wanted in them, or getting from them, and it gets all messy.
What do
to
you
help
mean by
them.
that?
Huh?
What do you mean by that?
What
We
by what?
suppress.
Huh?
What do you mean by we suppress?
Well, like say there's an abusive partner, and you know they say there's just you start trying to suppress exactly what you're supposed to be getting from the other person. So if there's a deficiency anyway.
Well, part of that is because we're always searching outside, and that person can only bring us so far because that's not really the whole truth. The whole truth is that it's in here, and we have to learn how to search in here. It's almost like when you think, when I get that new car, I'll be driving and looking good, but then, and that lasts for a little while, and then all of a sudden, it's not it anymore, because that's not it. That's not what it is. What it is we have to be able to do it for ourselves, and we have to be happy. And we're always looking for other things to make us happy, or other people to make us happy. I shouldn't say us, I do that. And so the happiness comes for a short time, but if it was true happiness, it wouldn't wear off. I should be able to keep doing
but
it.
that's what we're taught by society.
Exactly.
Is if you buy this, you will be happy.
Exactly.
If you buy this, you will be loved. If you buy this, you will be beautiful.
Exactly.
And I know one thing that their dad and I did with our kids, even from small, that makes me happy. How does that make you happy? We would make them think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted them to understand that TV show is not the key to your happiness, or
Mhm.
that whatever is not the key to your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for me personally, when I started making myself happy, things have started falling into place.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing.
And so I do feel good, but it's not because of the things falling into place, it's because I'm doing it myself.
Everything's falling in place because you feel good.
Exactly.
Exactly, right.
And it's constant work. I mean,
But the
seriously.
point you're making is really good, because how does that make you happy? And why does that make you happy?
Because I'm doing it for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing it to try and impress anybody else.
There you go. Because, I work in the medical field, so you know that I see all these people who drive the BMWs and who live this lifestyle that's supposedly wonderful and happy, but none of them are. None of them are. Their wives aren't
Here's
happy,
you.
their families aren't happy, they're not happy, and you're like, but you have all this shit.
Right.
You have all this shit, and you live in the biggest house in Canyon Trails, and you have all these things, and you're still miserable, and so is your wife. Why is that? Because
And your kids are in rehab.
right, exactly. And because they're going, well,
But on the outside, it looks really good.
yes, I look really good and I look important, and I'm driving a BMW, so that does, it doesn't, but whatever. Okay, so now the point is, how do we change our state? And part of it is, mine is, I have a thing with food. Food always makes me feel better, and I always want something to make me feel better. And when it's just so easy to go get something I want to eat. But when you stop and think about, if you looked at somebody and you could tell they're happy or you can tell they're depressed simply by the way they hold themselves. So now I'm going to go on a diet. And I did this. I hired a trainer, and I freaking fucking hated it. And every time I go, I'm like, oh, God damn, he pisses me off. And I'm like, what am I not getting? What am I not getting? And it's because my attitude, because I haven't changed my attitude about it. It's the food is just so much easier. It's just easier.
But I can
and
drive
thinner.
through it. I don't even have to get out of my car to get the
They're
food.
calling me. Bambi, I'm over here. So, and it's amazing. Does anybody watch Super Soul Sunday?
I watched it today.
Did you? Okay, see, and it just happened that the stuff that I'm talking about was on there. 3 different talks were about this whole thing today.
Like I said on TV.
Uh-huh.
It's on the
OWN channel?
OWN channel.
Oh my God, if you
Sunday
guys don't
mornings.
watch it,
I
it's
haven't
good.
seen it.
Yeah.
It's
What
on.
did Tony Robbins say success without fulfillment is empty, or he didn't say failure, but the point was it's not really success.
It's not, because and that's what we're talking about, the doctors. These guys think if I get here, and I'll give you when we watch, what was the show that the guy who did, I Am, when we watched I Am,
Yeah.
and the guy who made all these films and became the rich guy and
Right.
bought the big house and
Right.
had all the shit and walked into the foyer and he's like, I'm here.
Trading.
I'm here. I'm in the house. I got all the stuff. And I don't
Now
feel
what?
any better.
They got everything that I wanted.
Because you prop that personality up with all this shit. You prop it up and prop it up and prop it up. But if you took all those props away, how do you stand? Where do you stand? You can't, because it's not real. It's just crap. So today, because I question this all week, how do you change your state? Then you have to change your state. How do you change your state so that you look at it differently? So
Your statement.
because you have to change your energy. So every time you think about, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to go on a diet. Going to hire a trainer, and he's going to kick my ass. And I hate it. So today, Tony Robbins said, everybody stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Now everybody's going to hold their arms out. Marcia, you stay there. Hold your arms out like this. And then I want you to bring them together and crack them like that. Grab them. Which thumb's on top?
Left.
Okay. Right. All right. Now I'm going to have you do it again. Go out. Bring it together. Put your other thumb on top.
You should said that first.
Okay, now you're going to do it again. Bring it out. Bring the other thumb on top. Now bring the right thumb on top again. How does that feel? Weird.
This feels natural to me.
When you do it the
Yes.
other way.
When I do it the other way, it feels very
It feels
weird.
different.
Right-handed, but my
different.
left thumb feels better on top.
Yeah, so does mine.
Yeah, brain
So,
dogs.
Is there a wrong way?
So-
Does it matter?
no, this is it. No,
This
there's
is
not a
whatever
wrong
your
way. It's
natural-
just you are used to doing a certain thing, so I'm going to go on a diet. Instead of, I'm going to go on a diet and I'm going to feel different. I'm going to put this on top.
So you just
You
alternate
switch.
which
So
one
now
goes
when you
on
think
top.
about diet, everyone's going to go, I'm doing this because I'm diet, but you guys might need to do something else. I'm going on a diet. I'm going on a diet. I'm going to work out with a trainer. So So now I want everybody to do that. Whatever it is. That is what you have to change your state. So every time you want to think about your diet or whatever it is you want to work on, your first thought is going to be, I'm changing my state about it. There you go. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you.
I will never forget that.
All right.
Thank you, Bambi.
That's what's so good about it.
I know.
You're welcome, John.
do.
Do it. I got a tattoo.
He got full words.
You know, she drew on her leg today.
I drew on my leg today.
I must have been picking up her vibe then.
Because I wanted to know what my totem was. I'll show everybody here real quick.
Your
I wanted
totem-
to know what my totem was, and I always want to know. So when I was writing for the top, I have these dots on my leg. So something just said follow the dots. So I
Constellation.
followed them, and it's a freaking buffalo.
There
So
you go.
you draw on your leg on like where you have freckles.
I
on
followed the
arms,
dots. Yeah.
And then that's what.
That's what you was drawn to do.
Wait, I was
Okay,
just,
what?
when I was studying, I have this little thing that has totems,
Oh,
and I'm like,
oh,
I don't know what my totem is. And for some
Hold on.
reason, something just said, draw the dots on there, so I
He'll be
did.
here in December.
Beaver? What?
No.
No, they will be
I
here
said
in
he'll
December.
be here in December.
You already won
Chocolate.
today.
Yes.
I didn't find my totem anyway, but it is a good weapon.
Your
The count.
totem.
I have 3.
Huh?
I have 3.
Yeah. Supposedly they're like guides, they shift and change all the time. But if somebody wants to do that class, they can.
One of mine is a dragonfly.
Oh, I forgot to do this.
And it could just be an animal you like too.
So, I got one more thing.
Sure.
I made these so you guys could change your state, and I know how I am. If I look at something for very long, it gets boring and I ignore it. So I made it so it's double-sided and different. So you can stick these up somewhere.
Cool.
Thank you.
Neat. Change state. Neat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's other colors if you don't like the ones you got. Should I give you this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good about it. We're good.
We're good, baby.
Good.
Let me see what you got left. Not the choice. Now I take mine.
Yeah, you can just throw them in the middle one.
I found
Th-
mine.
Thursday is going to be chit chat and tea. So if you want to bring a snack or something, your favorite beverage, you can do that. It's going to be kind of casual. We'll do like an open group. So if somebody has something you want to throw out and talk about and discuss, I'll leave that open. So the idea is not just, we can sit here and chit chat among ourselves, but the idea is that somebody throws out a topic and we discuss it as a group.
Cool.
So bring a snack if you want to, tea, whatever. And then after that, we won't meet for the following Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. So
About Thursday, we're meeting for Stephen's
Yes,
birthday
we're
party.
going to be meeting at
Yeah.
Jalapeno Tree. All those who can attend, please.
That's
What is this?
Coming Thursday.
The 25th, you will be gone.
Oh, your
Bastards.
birthday?
It's my
That's why we're
birthday.
doing it, because you're gone. From the cat.
So the following Thursday is Stephen's birthday at Jalapeno Tree.
No.
6 o'clock.
The knee stands for love me.
So that's the Thursday after next?
The 25th.
Not this.
Not this
coming
coming
Thursday.
Thursday, but the following.
Yeah, this coming Thursday, which is the
Or 18th.
18th, will be the chit chat, and then we don't meet Sunday. Y'all will meet Thursday the 25th, and then we don't meet Sunday. So the
Is
next,
Justin not coming?
no, it was posted in Facebook. He didn't make it.
Yeah, he had, something came up and he wasn't able to.
Oh.
I mean, Kitty posted it on yesterday or Friday.
So since I already started recording for Bambi, I'm going to go ahead and do what I was going to do, and then if we have time, we'll listen to some more of the conscious language. But I can't tape that because that's not my information. You know, I can't tape the conscious
Right.
language.
Are those already on YouTube, or do you have those downloaded from another source?
Hmm?
The conscious language?
No, those are CDs that
Oh, okay.
Deborah let me borrow.
Oh, okay.
If you just take one of these and pass them on. We're not doing this tonight. We're doing a different one, but that's just for your own play. You might keep it and bring it as we're going through the conscious language. Those are just some notes I've taken. I'm always about step protocols. And I do have one step protocol to go over with you today. And I call it bringing you home. So let's skip this part and we'll go to bringing you home. Of course, you can't read that, but I'll be giving you all a pass out.
Sorry, there was a whole bunch of them there.
Okay.
I don't know if they needed one back row. Yeah.
Pam.
Oh, sorry, here, hand me one of those.
Good job, Stephen. No, just one.
They were just hoarding them all.
I've got another one. I've got another one, but I want to go through the process before.
Yes. Even just 2 passes.
I want to go through the process before I give it to you, so you won't be too mental about it. So let me walk one person through this, and I can walk you through where you're sitting. So if somebody has some kind of issue they want to address, just holler.
What kind of issue are you wanting?
It could be physical, mental, emotional. When I put this together, I was thinking more mental, emotional, but we can do physical too. I prefer mental, emotional, but to me, they all in the same place anyway.
I'm in a place where I'm kind of at the beginning of a relationship, and
Okay.
I just kind of want to make sure that number one, I'm in the right place, and number two, I'm in the right place.
Okay, so number one is you take your right hand and you put it over your heart. Okay. And I'll give you all a sheet that covers all these steps. Number two is you're tuning into the issue. So whatever, if you've got your own personal issue that you're thinking about, just tune into that for now. And you've all got a piece of paper, so you can write down that without going ahead of the steps. So just describe your issue. Tracy, you're going to do yours aloud. Everybody else can kind of write those to themselves. So the issue you've already stated is you're in a relationship, and you want to know if it's the right one.
Well, and this is with a previous, we dated several years ago, so we get to skip the whole awkward getting to know you stage, at the very beginning, which is nice. He seems to be in a good place, a lot better place than when we parted ways.
Okay.
And I'm just really super comfortable with him, and I just don't want this to be I want to be in a relationship thing.
Okay. So, what are the uncomfortable feelings? Okay, we know that you're wanting. So, what are you feeling in a negative way?
Well, he lives in Dallas, so he's 2 hours away. So time together is very
limited time.
We talk daily.
Mm-hmm.
And not meaning to sound petty, but he doesn't seem to have a desire to be on a spiritual journey, although he has told me many times that he will allow me to be myself and he doesn't judge me. He doesn't, that's the wrong word. He wants me to be me.
Right.
And, there's no judgment on...
He won't tell her that she can't do
Exactly.
something related to her spiritual journey.
Allowing isn't bad.
Yeah.
That was just when you're
Allowing doesn't
I can tell by the way you said it.
allowing doesn't infer that
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got limited time, and he's not on a spiritual path. Okay, so let's go beneath that. So,
Okay.
in the piece of paper it says you want to keep going deeper, so you ask why. So, obviously there's feelings behind this. What are the feelings behind that?
Behind what?
Okay, so there's limited time, and he's not on a quote unquote spiritual path. What are your feelings about that?
Well, I mean, the limited time I think is kind of obvious because, you know, when you are in a relationship with someone, you want to spend time with them.
Right. So the bigger one seems to be the not on a spiritual path.
And you know, and I think that I always had this image of me being with someone who was like a super spiritual person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying that he's, you know, not spiritual at all and shallow, because when we do talk about, you know, beliefs and stuff like that, it's just not something that he is, you know, like me, consciously, actively working on.
Right. Okay. So, what is the feeling that brings about in you, though, regarding the relationship? That's what I'm going for, the feeling. So
Okay,
where I'm shifting with this is I'm trying to take it more into a feeling realm than a thinking realm. So, what is that? What are the feelings that brings
I think
about?
the feeling that it brings to me is almost a hesitancy.
Right.
Because I'm just at this jumping off point on a lot of different levels of things that I've been working on with myself, and I don't want to just be just all, you know, this is where I'm at and I'm running with it, and
You're about to go somewhere. You said you don't want to what?
it's hard to put in words.
You don't want this to stop that process?
Well, I don't
Or
want
limit
my
it.
process to be stopped,
Mhm.
but I also don't want to act or feel, or in any subconscious way, I don't want him to feel that I'm pushing him somewhere he doesn't want to go,
I see.
if he's not ready.
Okay.
And I also am kind of concerned about how will I be able to talk about stuff that I've been doing
Right.
when he's not there. But I also accept that we're all in different levels. I mean, even in this room, we're all on different levels of our path.
Right. But the issue is we still want to address. I guess the key thing is hesitation
Yeah.
or apprehension. This is just kind of like, you know, that's
Yeah.
good. So it's not like pause. It's not like stopping it, but it's making you kind of pause.
I mean, Katie's already made me throw my list out, all right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'm just saying, it's just, I am apprehensive, that's a good word.
Okay. So is there anything beneath the apprehension? And there may not be.
Not that I can tell.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go with apprehension. So then there's a space on here. Number 5 is what is the deepest, strongest feeling around the issue? And we're just going to go apprehension. Okay. So now,
He's reading off what's on the screen.
yeah, I haven't passed that out yet because I don't want anybody looking ahead.
That's why he's got the font like minuscule.
So he's like, what? Number who?
So the ones of y'all that everybody else is just kind of playing along, you just take a moment before we move on with Tracy. In your issue and what you're looking at, can you go deeper with it? Or like, does it stop? Because Tracy started with limited time, and he's not necessarily on a spiritual path, and really that's the feeling behind that is it's giving her hesitation or apprehension. So the feeling doesn't have to be anger, sadness, fear, whatever, but apprehension does fall into fear, right? A little bit. It's a lower octave of fear. So what is your feeling regarding your issue? Just write that on the paper.
Well, and I'm also, you know, a little wary that I've allowed someone to reach the fortress.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of at this, do I need to put the bricks back up, or do I need to let them just stay down on the ground?
And that still falls into the apprehension.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we'll stay with that. So it's like apprehension is like a low level fear. So now what I want you to do, Tracy, and you can close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes with this, but this helps with people. Everybody else can do this too. Once you've kind of got the intense feeling, with your right hand over your heart, I want you to feel the feeling, not the mental processing around it, not having enough time, not on a spiritual journey, just the feeling behind it. So, like for Tracy, she's focusing on the slight fear, apprehension about the relationship. And what you can do, excuse me, what you can do is you're going to intensify that feeling. Make it stronger and stronger. And in a second, I'm going to ask you a question. Those of you that are doing it silently, you can write it down. Tracy will speak out loud. While you're intensifying this feeling, I want you now to just pay attention to your body. And where is that feeling showing up the most in the body? And here's the thing about the body. It could be out around you. It doesn't necessarily need to be inside your body. The feeling could be in lots of different places. You could feel it in an organ. You could feel it in a chakra. You could feel it outside your body. But just feel where you feel this particular feeling. You've intensified the feeling. Now where is it?
In my gut.
In your gut. Good. Now what I want you to do is everybody take a second to kind of write that down for yourselves if you need to. Where do you feel it? You're going to take your left hand and you're going to place it over that part of the body. If it's not on the body, if it's out in the field, you can just put your hand up like this. Or if you feel it like out here, you can just put it like, you know, you're tuning into that thing, okay? And I'll explain the hands at the end.
So you leave your right hand.
Right hand staying over the heart.
Over the heart.
Because what's at the heart? Huh? Love. Energetically, what's going on there? Huh? The heart chakra, which is what? The center of our being. It's also where the toroidal field, that's where the toroidal field comes to center. It's where our heart beats. And another level of what Bambi was talking about tonight are these things that we have when our heart beats with certain feelings, it's sending those to all parts of the body. In Chinese medicine, there's a thing called pulse reading, and you can read the 12 meridians because they all have a different pulse. So your heart, when it sends up one beat out, it's got these fractalic beats upon that one beat. So your heart is sending a signal to the gut, like your intestine to be a certain way. It's sending a signal to the lungs to be a particular way. So by changing your feelings, you change the frequency going to those parts. So your right hand is over your heart and the left is over the issue point. So Tracy's is the gut. So now what we're going to do is going a little bit deeper. So now we have the mental construct was limited time, relationship, limited time, no spiritual journey. That's the mind. The emotional was the slight fear, hesitation. And now we're going to bridge into the physical, okay? So now Tracy and everybody else, Tracy's the only one that's speaking, I want you to focus in on the gut now. So you're still focusing on the hesitation relationship, but now feel what's going on in your gut. Don't just feel the feeling there. I want you to describe it. Is the energy twisting? Is it pulling? Is it like nervous and vibrating? What is the gut doing?
It's clenched.
Clenched, good. Is that the main feeling there for you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it's just the
So it's like holding on.
sense of, yeah.
Okay. So those of y'all that are doing it silently, you can write that down.